let's talk a little bit about these cases that are ongoing against Google. I know you've got quite stuck into the first one, which is all about the monopoly. Did you want
Yeah.
to give us a bit of a rundown on what's been going on?
Okay. So I guess starting out, the best way to phrase it is this. In I believe in American law, a monopoly is something that owns over 70% of the market. Google has owned the search market for years, and I mean, it's at the time when they submitted the lawsuit, it was at 89%, which is that's a lot higher than what the threshold is for a monopoly.
Yeah,
But that's what makes the case interesting, in my opinion, is because how do you, but what does that mean? Like, what does that mean in a digital age? Like, yeah, it has a monopoly, but there wasn't any competition. It's so synonymous with searching that rather than I'm going to search a term, you say I'm going to Google this, I'm going to
exactly.
Google that. Like it's literally synonymous. Like you can't argue that it isn't a monopoly. But I think the more interesting and like pressing part about it is it bad that it is a monopoly? Is it bad that it has? And I think the case with the ads is a reason as to why it is a bad thing. But
Yeah,
in general, I would think that it's mainly kind of a positive, to be honest. I mean, yeah, competition always helps and whatever. Like, yeah, it
yeah,
absolutely is a large part of like a success for businesses. But when you have been running the game for like 20 years already, and there's not really any, well, there is some competitors as we talked about with Bing before, but they I can't really because Google is so ubiquitous and so massive in terms of everything. And most browsers that you use, or people will tell you to just use Google, like whether you're using Google Chrome or using Edge. The top search, the funniest part of Bing for me. Do you know what the most searched result is on Bing?
Google.
Or Google, yeah. So that's what a big part of the monopoly is like how do you tackle something that is so large that no one can really get into the market?
I
You
know.
can't really just be like, oh yeah, we'll cut Google off, but then what's going to happen there? Like
Yeah,
you can't just Bing isn't just going to magically rise up and become the top because like people might just use like Facebook search or something
yeah.
like that, something that they're already used to, like they already exist in the ecosystem for. Um, so making like a big, I guess they can uh slap fines on Google, make them pay like I think the ad lawsuit or the monopoly one, I can't remember which one, is like being sued for $24 billion. That's chump change for them, really. Like,
Yeah.
it's not really chump change, but it is basically. Like, I mean, they probably make that off ads in like a couple
Yeah.
of months.